Hero is a southpaw, a lefty. Villain, we don't care what villain is other than the fact that villain is right-handed. So there's this question of the red zone, which is kind of where you're always trying to maneuver yourself during a point because it gives you an advantage, basically an overwhelming advantage. You're going to win most of those points. And I diagrammed it in a past video for a righty-righty matchup. But what happens when you have a southpaw down here, which means the sword and the shield are reversed, right? If it's a right-handed player, shield's over here, sword's over there. So you have swords cross-court, you have shields cross-court. But now, of course, you got sword cross-court at shield, you got sword cross-court at shield. What does the red zone look like? Well, it's going to be pretty similar, I guess you could say. You got the imaginary line coming out, which will, if it crossed that line, outside ground stroke. If it doesn't, it's an inside ground stroke. But you're going to get hero down here hitting cross court. So it's the longest part of the court, right, at villain's shield. And, it's very difficult for villain to take that down the line. So we're basically just going to take the doubles alley, multiply it, maybe even a little bit more, and eliminate it. It's not something that we're worried about villain hitting to. And you might be saying, well, Will, balls over here are outside ground strokes for hero in this case. And that is true, but because it's the sword, we're not deleting as much court. You might take like half of the doubles alley and then remove that. So there's still a little window that villain might not cover. But in this instance, the thing that makes the red zone so powerful for a southpaw is that this is just a natural cross-court rally. It's very easy to get into this. Hero doesn't really have to work in this case. This is just, okay, I'm just hitting cross-court at villain's shield. Whereas, if there's a righty down here, you kind of have to maneuver around and turn a shield into a sword to set that up. So there's a little bit more work involved. And it's one of the reasons Rafa's so difficult to beat is his forehand, that heavy topspin ball that kicks up, is very difficult to escape the red zone in this case because anything cross-court, you're still in the red zone because it goes to hero, in this case's sword. So you basically are left with trying to check out and go down the line, which is just, I still have sword over there, shield. It's very, very difficult to do. Anything left hanging here. Thing about lefties is we see this all the time, so we actually have pretty good cross-court backhands. We can step in and take those early, and even though we're going at the sword, we can angle them off the court. We can really do a lot with them. So that's what the red zone looks like for a southpaw, and there's a lot of just natural advantages for a southpaw given just the geometry of the court and how this sword and shield matchup work out. Hope you liked that video, and look, if you're like me, you'd give up your right arm to be ambidextrous. Anyway, check out the singles playbook and the doubles playbook. Just click the link that popped up, and I will show you some of my favorite plays.